I just wanted to talk about this because we're in that season. We're nearly there. Royal Rumble time. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are asking the age-old question to steal something from Good Mythical More. Love you guys, thank you. Who should win the Royal Rumble? I'm going to do two videos. I'm going to do a men's Royal Rumble and I'm going to do a women's Royal Rumble because I think they both have merit and both, have viable contenders. But we're going to start with the men's Royal Rumble. Who should win the 2024 Royal Rumble match? Men's edition. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below on who you think should win the Royal Rumble, because there's a big CM Punk hole that has been blown to the centre of the Royal Rumble. I think the men's is pretty cut and dry. I think there is one person who can and should win the Royal Rumble, but adding in the likes of Randy Orton, adding in the likes of CM Punk, there's a lot of names in there that could vie for that opportunity. So let's start with him. Let's start with CM Punk. I think CM Punk, he could win the Royal Rumble. He could. I think it's in there. I think the match at WrestleMania will be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins without a shadow of a doubt. How you get there is another question. Does he win the Royal Rumble? Does he win the Elimination Chamber? Me personally, I think Punk winning the Elimination Chamber is a much better idea than having him win the Royal Rumble. Why? I think the Elimination Chamber, you can put him in there. There's still that aura of CM Punk. Granted, it's a WWE audience, but at least when I was at All in Wembley, it was hit and miss with the boos. He was being booed, he was being cheered. How you want to present him going up against Seth Rollins? If you want to present him as a face, I think doing it in the Elimination Chamber, having him run through heels, having it be in a market where they are more likely to cheer the babyfaces. It's in Australia, a market that they don't usually go to. They are more likely to not be a smarky crowd. They're going to cheer for who is being presented as the babyfaces. So if Punk's presented as a babyface going up against Rollins, him winning the Chamber makes sense to me. And you have your Mania match right there. Or you just do it as a blood feud. Just do it as a blood feud. Seth says, okay, Punk, you finally get your WrestleMania main event, but it's against me in a no-holds-barred match. I think that would work. You can feed off the hatred. I don't think Punk needs the Royal Rumble, if that makes sense. Other contenders looking over on sort of SmackDown, LA Knight. Yeah, he's always going to be a contender. He is over. He is a huge, huge star for the company. But again, I don't think his trajectory needs the Royal Rumble. I think his trajectory is straight to Logan Paul, feeding off their interaction in that Money in the Bank feud where him cutting that promo on Logan Paul was one of the highlights of that and getting a top reaction. I think US Championship with Logan Paul, that right there is a winner with LA Knight beating Logan Paul. Randy Orton is also in the mix. He made his big return. I think maybe his Mania trajectory is something to do with the Judgment Day. I think they set that up on Raw. Whether you can make it last that long, maybe have him in the Elimination Chamber. He gets eliminated by Priest, and then that sets up Randy versus Priest for Mania. Maybe in the Rumble he gets eliminated by Finn. The Judgment Day odds just swarm Randy, and you have the Judgment Day plate spinning, and that's what Randy does. Other than that, I don't think there's other big contenders that can really be set up. I think the only other two are maybe AJ and Bobby Lashley, but I think they are taken. I think you will probably have Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and potentially AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, because those two matches are the two big matches that haven't been done while Roman has been the tribal chief. Granted, they happened prior, but I think with the dynamics flipped and tribal chief Roman being in control, I think that is the way you pull off those matches and give Roman something to do until Mania, because now we're going to talk about the two favourites. The two favourites are yin and yang for me in terms of who I want to see win this Rumble, and they played a very key part in, the Rumble prior, last year's Rumble, and that is Gunther and Cody Rhodes. These two figures are key in how I would book the Rumble. I think you play on what happened last year. You have Cody Rhodes enter at number 1 and Gunther enter at number 30, because last year Cody he had the bravado, he was coming back from injury, he was number 30, he was protected in his win. Gunther had been through the ringer. But you flip that and you have Cody having had a grueling hour and 10 minutes or so. Maybe he beats the record, he beats Gunther's record for who's been in the Rumble the longest. And then Gunther comes out, or Gunther, he enters and he is a fresh man. Cody's the last man standing, and you have a huge 15-minute match at the end of the Rumble between Gunther and Cody. And Cody just outlasts Gunther. That right there is your story. That's the adversity that Cody needs. You flip it and you have this really cool dynamic that's perfectly set up from last year, and Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble, faces Roman Reigns, dethrones Roman Reigns, finishes the story. I think it is written right there. It is written in the stars for Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble and beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And there's no other way I can do it. I can't think of another person to win the Rumble who needs it more than Cody. Granted, 2 Rumbles in a row. It's been done before, and sometimes it can frustrate people. But I think it has to be Cody. It has to be Cody, and it has to be down to Gunther and Cody, because the symmetry, they wouldn't have booked last year's Rumble the way they did if they weren't doing this as well. That's the way I see it. I think it has to be this. And while it may be predictable, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at the end of the day if it's predictable, because predictable can be good. So that's what I think. Cody Rhodes to win the Royal Rumble 2024. But that's it. That's the end of the video. Let me know who you think should win the Men's Royal Rumble 2024 down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.